Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you all hear me? Am I clear? All right. Now, by a show of hands, how many of you have an iPhone? Wow, okay. How many of you have a Galaxy phone? How many of you have a Nokia phone? Really? Still? Now, how come only two people have a Nokia phone? Yes, but now it's not anymore. Why? What happened to Nokia, ladies and gentlemen? What? No innovation. Okay. So a lot of people say the problem with the Nokia is they didn't cope with the changes that happens, and therefore Apple and Galaxy and Samsung and all those people passed by them. But let me tell you exactly why Nokia failed as a company. See, in every company, the structure is there are the executives, the managements, and then the employees. Executives, the top people, the managements, and then there's the like regular employees. Now, in any company, what is the job of the executives? Set the future, plan, whatever, and they come up with a wish list. The management's are supposed to take that and pass it on to the employees to have it implemented. Now, what happened with Nokia is this. The executives called in the managements. And they said what? iPhone is coming with this phone that you can just touch. We need something more. What do you need? Yes, come on. Yeah, more. More. See, that's what the executives did. They come up with a wish list. I need an iPhone where a hologram pops up. I want the guy to just pop on the phone. Why? Because they just make wishes. They see the competition and they want to overcome the competition. Now, the management went to the employees and said, we want to have a phone that beats the iPhone and the Galaxies. We want to have a groundbreaking technology. What did the employees say? We don't have the technology. We need some research. We need a lot of time to do this. And we are not equipped with whatever they want. We want funding. We want a lot of money to go into our research. Can you do that? And the management said, okay, just let me check. The executive said, how's everything going? Now, the problem with Nokia is this. The middleman, the management, tried to keep everybody happy. So when the executive asked, how's everything going? The management said, Abshir Malik. Everything is going great. And when the employees said, what happened to our demands? Did you do anything about it? And the management said, it's coming, don't worry. And months passed by. The management tried to keep everybody happy, not passing the message across. And all of a sudden, rumors start to spread around the employees. They see the stocks of Nokia going down. They think this company is heading to fail anyways. So what happened? She quits because she got a job at iPhone. She quits because she got a job in Samsung, and everybody started leaving. Years passed by, and nothing was accomplished. The company went bust. The only reason Nokia failed is because there wasn't enough communication between the executives and the managements. See, that is how important communication is in your work and in your personal life. And it all boils down to the kind of words that you use. By show of hands, how many of you here have kids? How old are they? So let's focus on your 12-year-old. All right. Now, you want your child to do his homework. What do you say? Do your homework. Do your homework. She's not yelling. She's not screaming. Do your homework. But still, she just said what? Do your homework. Now, there's a study in Michigan State University. It shows that when a child is being told things in the tone of an order, do your homework. Again, she's not yelling, she's not screaming. But the word itself is an order word. That child grew up to be the kind of person who just says, you know what, I'll just do whatever you want. They're not willing to take charge. They're not willing to be in leadership because since they were young, they were just told what to do. They just follow orders. Now, you could do the same thing again and say, you should do your homework. You should do your homework. It's not ordering, but it's in a different tone. You should do your homework. The study shows that people who were treated with that kind of language, you should. You should implies what? You should do something. No, it shows that you're not doing your job well. You should be doing something else. And those kind of kids grow up to be the kind of person who blame themselves for anything. Everything is my fault. Because ever since I was a child, I was told I should be doing something which I'm not be doing. Now, you could do the same thing again and say, could you do your homework? Could you do your homework? Now, that's easier, right? However, kids who were treated with that kind of language, could you? What does that imply? Could you? Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. They grew up to be feeling like they're not worthy, like they cannot accomplish anything, because they've been doubted with that kind of language ever since they were children. Now you could do the same thing again and say, would you do your homework? Would you? Implies what? Options. Of course, he's going to do it anyways. But the wording itself implies you have an option. And the study shows that those kind of people grow up making their own choices, making their own decisions, not waiting for the parents to make up their life for them. You could do it again and say, let's do your homework. Let's. Us. Of course, he's going to do it by himself, but the word itself, let's do your homework. It implies that we work as a team. And it shows that people who were treated with that kind of language grow up being very effective team players. All words accomplish the same thing, but what you choose makes a difference. I'll show you how it works in our work environment. Here's an exercise. It's called Yeah, But. I want one of you to come up with an idea, whether at work or okay, let's just focus at work. Come up with any idea. Now, when you give me the idea, the next person, I want you to start by saying, yeah, but, and then add to it. Any idea? Work from home. But what? Okay. Yeah, but. Yeah, but. Yeah, but. You don't feel productive. Yeah, but. HR won't like it. Now, notice something. Notice something. He had an idea. But when we treated it with yeah, but, we found the flaws in the idea. And everybody started to kill the idea. And the idea never took off. Now, how about we change it to of course and? So, any idea? Huh? Ban papers. Of course, and? Of course, and? Of course, and? Of course, and? Now, do you notice how the idea grew? If we did yeah, but, we would kill the idea. But of course, and we took a simple idea and we found out now what can we do with it. It's just a simple choice of words. Now, communication doesn't just stand on what you say. Sometimes it's what you don't say. Anybody here is a fan of Real Madrid? Oh, على طول. All right. Hold on. Anybody is fan of Barcelona? Fantastic. Now, why Barcelona is better than Real Madrid? Why? It's your team, right? Okay, go ahead. Tell me why I should go with Barcelona rather than Real Madrid.
They have Messi.
Huh? They have Messi. Anything else? Huh?
They have
Yes. Would you argue that?
Of course.
How?
First of all,
Uh-huh. More, yeah, please. All right, now, notice something. When I said why Barcelona is a good team, they said what? They have Messi, right? When he argued, he said what? He took it to a totally different aspect. Why? Because when we argue with people, we don't listen. We don't listen. What we do is we build our argument. Is Messi a good player? But you didn't acknowledge that. Why? Because in our minds, we build how we gonna argue the person. Why don't we just take a minute and listen to the person first? Most of our communication fails because we fail to listen. If you don't agree with the person, don't build your argument first. Just listen to that person first. Then you can argue. Maybe you don't even have to argue. See, the problem is we don't want to admit that we are wrong. Everybody wants to be right. But you're not right all the time. We're not perfect, and you could be wrong. But if we don't listen, we would never know. The third pillar of communication, not what you say or what's said to you, is how do you look when you say it. What kind of job do you do? Tell me about it. You see what she said? What's wrong? Thank you. You see, across my arms, I was frowning, which means that I'm not accepting anything that you say. You were telling me about your job, but then you felt, this guy is not listening to me. He doesn't care. Now, maybe I didn't mean to do it, but she understood it in a different way. Your body speaks more than your mouth does. You sensed, this guy's aggressive. This guy doesn't want to listen to me. Why? Because my body persuaded you that way. So it's not about what we just say. It's how do you look when we say it. Do not underestimate the power of a smile. I want you all to genuinely smile right now. Everybody, please. May I see your smiles, please? Okay. Okay, not a creepy smile, but okay. I'm just kidding. You see, when you smile, first of all, you elevate your self-esteem and you look better for the person in front of you. How would you feel I'm talking to you, Rakis? Tell me about your job. Tell me about it. Wow. But now he's talking more. Why? Because he felt that I want to listen to what you want to say. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in this room has a superpower. The power to change the environment around you. You know, in the work environment, we are swarmed by rumors. And the way these rumors spread is somebody said something to somebody who didn't even know where this information came from. You give me a piece of information. I interpret it my own way. Then I rely it to somebody else based on what I think is right. He takes it and interprets it his own way. He relied to someone else how he feels is right. And yet the facts gets lost. Because everybody wants to make of it whatever they want. Sometimes, when we don't say it right, it can make a very big difference, either positive or negative. In World War I, there was a soldier in the German army. His name, Adolf Hitler. And Hitler has an idea. His idea was that the German race is above everybody else. Everybody else is worthless. And Hitler was willing to do anything to make that idea a reality. In fact, in World War I, he's one of the few who actually volunteered to be in the army. And during World War I, he got injured. He was taken to a hospital. And while he was in the hospital, he got the news that Germany lost and surrendered. The dream he wanted to make died. And because Germany surrendered in World War I, like one of the condition of the surrender is Germany has to pay for Britain and France and the US compensation for their loss in the war. The German economy is going down. Employment is skyrocketing. People are living in poverty. And Hitler knew that the easiest way that you can control people is when they are not happy. So he gathered some of his friends from the army time. And he said to them, look, what's happening here is not right. German government is not doing their job. People are dying of hunger. People do not have jobs. Let's take over the government. Their plan to march through the Munich city hall and take it over. And once they take the Munich, they can take all of Germany. They agreed. And the night came. Hitler and his men marched. Hitler is going to get executed. But then, the judge made a terrible mistake. He said, Mr. Hitler, before I announce my verdict, is there something that you would like to say? Now, Hitler was an evil, evil person, but one thing he was good at is speaking. He stood up on the stand. He said, if my crime is that I love my country, then kill me. If my crime is I want what's best for Germany, then kill me. Look at you. And then he looked at the entire court filled with people. Look at you. Look at you. Are you happy? You work day and night, and the profits of your land goes to France and goes to Britain and goes to all these people while your kids die of hunger. Are you happy? He spoke for 10 minutes straight. At the end, the entire court stood up, start chanting his name. ينصر دينك يا شيخ روح. And now, the judge is faced with a terrible choice. If you sentence this guy to death, the judge will be killed as soon as he leaves the courthouse. So instead of the death sentence, he gave him 3 years in prison. Out of the 3 years, he only served 9 months. Then he was freed. But by the time he got out, he's already a people's hero. People start rallying around him, and within 2 or 3 years, he became the president of Germany. 2 years later, he started World War II, a war that killed 65 million people. 65 million people died because of a 10 minutes speech. Is it important? Value the words that we say. I often get asked by people who say, I have a presentation tomorrow. Is there any last advice that you would like to give me before I take the stage? And I always give people this advice. I say, imagine and believe that after you speak and you step down, that you're gonna die. And this is the last thing that you're gonna say. And then ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. Is it worth saying? And if it is worth saying, how would you say it? Thank you so much for listening. Before I leave you, allow me to, if you don't mind, take a photo with you guys. Do you guys mind? All right, everybody smile. Not the creepy smile. Okay, let's just do it this way then. And thank you again for having me. It was a pleasure.